I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live when I believe.
Animated Sarah resubscribed for 22 months.
Test. What's up, chat? Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a few days. Hello. I too don't know what planet I'm on. What's up, chat? I hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. What did I miss? I feel like things did happen, but I paid zero attention. There were some protests that happened. I would take a look at. And apparently, liberals were trying to co-opt, or maybe did co-opt the pro-Palestinian protests. We'll take a look at that as well. Yeah, hands off NATO. That's what I saw. At least for the one in where was it at? I don't remember. I scrolled past it on Twitter. Time speech was pretty good. Well, I'll take a look at it. I'm eating my breakfast. I've been up for a long time. Yeah. I don't know. It's a long time. We'll look at the Hassan speech. We'll look at look at where's it at? Add a few things as well. Is this clip? How's your trip? It was chill. My rivals up there? There's none. Oh, talk about the rivals. I think mine. We'll talk about it. As you know, we can start with that. We can start with that. And a Fig Newton. No, well, it's a fig bar. Technically, that's what it's called. I also wanted to see this as well. I also know Ethan stuff, so if there's any new Ethan stuff, I haven't seen any of it.
Here he is, rocking the merch. And he cut off the sleeves, too, by the way. It was fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, that's so hot.
I'm not going to fashion police him, but these shoes do not go. I'm sorry. The shoes just don't fucking go with the outfit. It's ridiculous.
Outside, motherfucker.
Like, bro, get real. Can you please get real? Oh, my God. Hassan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Mm-hmm.
He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself.
I don't want to think about that, man.
Think
That's
about
too
it.
much. Nope.
Think about it right now.
Stop.
I think I must be right, by the
I'm
way.
shooting ropes, bro.
Here he is. So
that's the thing that happened, apparently. Trigger warning for Ethan being Ethan. Yeah. So that's one thing. Here's another. Oh, there's also, okay. Did y'all see the Carl Jobs stuff? Did y'all take a little look, a little peeky at that? Cause and I'll say this. I've never been a fan of Carl Jobs. It rubbed me the wrong way. The way he covered some issues.
Hello, are you
Right? Because he used to make like good speedrunning videos about like, I mean, not good, but he had a video on like Dream's cheating scandal. Like basically a lot of his videos fell into like, it went from videos about fun things that happen in speedrunning, like, oh, this world record was broken. I'm like, oh, cool, that's interesting. And then it went to like, this person cheated in the speedrun and it wasn't real. And that became he got very popular for doing that one video, right? With 19 million views. And that became his like primary output of like cheating and speedrunning, you know? This one was like not that before that happened about a Doom speedrun, right? Cheating and speedrunning. Well, not this one. But like most of his videos were about like cheating and speedrunning stuff. And I'm like, I don't really, that's cool, but like, if that's your entire output, like, I want to see stuff about like the hobby, right? And then he started turning his attention to Billy Mitchell, right? Now it's moved on to just cheating and speedrunning, to just be like, this is what Billy Mitchell did today, right? And it was getting a lot of views, and I understand why he kept doing it. They were getting a lot of views. So in between, like, oh, this speedrunning, this cheater, this not even speed, this regular cheater, this cheater, or like this speedrun like video got like, less than 1 million, right? Perfect Mario's 64 speedrun happened, 1.2 million. Billy Mitchell was cheating. This happened, and then cheater, insane, scandal, like Billy Mitchell, like, it just became like a Billy Mitchell like channel. And I'm just like, I don't care enough about Billy Mitchell. Like, yeah, Billy Mitchell sucks. Okay, who cares? Who cares? It was just like Billy Mitchell did this today and Billy Mitchell did that today. And I'm just like, who cares? And it gets to the point where like he started to make like what the courts would say are inaccurate and potentially defamatory claims, right, about Billy Mitchell. Because when a YouTuber like took their own life, he came out and said, oh, it was Billy Mitchell's fault. Billy Mitchell was the cause for this. And the courts came in and ruled like, yeah, you have not provided any evidence that that's the case. And ruled in favor of Billy Mitchell, right? Because like that is kind of a crazy thing to say and to put on a singular person. But that's the drama. There's more with that. We can take a look at it later if you want to. But it's a shame when somebody who like makes good and like fun content like a long time ago about like interesting thing that happened in the speedrunning space, then turning around and just like getting so caught up in the drama slap that he inevitably goes off and makes an insane claim like that and then loses a lot of support. It's a shame. quite the shame. But also, there's this. This claiming a speedrunner got someone to kill themselves. Not even just a speedrunner, just like a. Billy Mitchell's not a speedrunner. He's a world record holder, or or fake, depending on who you believe. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. It's kind of admitted to just pumping out content every week or 2 weeks, and Billy Mitchell was just easy content for him. That's kind of I get that, and I understand. Like, it's a cash cow. You find a lane that you hit, but like when you have content that's catered specifically and directly towards, I'm taking down this one person, and you lose sight of like why you're doing it. Like, Billy Mitchell being a cheater deserves to be called out, right? Sure, right. But when you start getting into like, I have a personal vendetta against Billy Mitchell because it lines my pockets and not because of the bad things that he's doing, you're inevitably going to say something like, Billy Mitchell got this YouTuber to end their own life. And that is an insane claim to make with no evidence. Right? A crazy claim to make with no evidence. So maybe like, don't lose sight of why you're doing the things you're doing. And don't chase it just for like how much money it makes you. Like, it's a crazy story. But we'll talk about it later if we have time. Oh, and I also want to say that I said this in the Discord as well. But I was talking to my brother yesterday, or 2 days ago, because we were at a wedding. Or we were in Texas for a wedding. And he was watching a Marvel Rivals video. Right? And so I knew he played Marvel Rivals before. But we started talking about Marvel Rivals. And he asked me who my mains were. I was like, the thing is chill. I like Magneto. But like, if I have to go to support, I'll go Cloak and Dagger, right? He said he plays Penny Parker. I was like, ugh, gross, Penny. Who's getting buffs, which Penny shouldn't be buffed, but Penny sucks. But then I found out he was Grandmaster 1. And in case you don't know, Grandmaster is here. Here, let me open this up. Is here. Sorry, here. Not this is Celestia. Here. I'm still here. And that's a problem. Because he's not a better gamer than I am. Okay? He is not a better gamer than I am. He's not. He just plays more than I do. So I need to play this game. And I will be playing this game. Maybe not every stream. Right? Because I have obligations sometimes. But I will be playing this game every day until I hit at least diamond. Grandmaster is possible. I struggle to even get to gold. I have a friend carry me gold this season. People suck. Honestly, your team suck. You say he was better at 2K than you. I don't play 2K, so I can't stand my teammates. They're bad. You need to play with people? No. That's not fun. I talked about it before. I don't queue up with people. I'm solo queue only. Solo, I mean not only, but mostly solo queue. Cause like, if you get, I don't care if you're freaking Celestial. If you get there by only like 6 stacking with a full squad, you're not that good at games. I'll say it. You're a bad gamer. Somebody who is diamond, who got their solo queuing, is a better gamer than somebody who got to Celestial or Eternal. Right? Full squatting. And it's going to come out to be that a lot of people who are in Celestial right now, or in Eternal right now, are not going to be in Eternal anymore come next season, because you can only solo or duo queue starting next season. So a lot of those people who you see who are Eternal, who are like, oh, I'm Eternal at this game or whatever, they're not as good at the game as you think. And they're going to be stuck back down in Grandmaster, maybe even Diamond, because they can't be carried by a full squad of people. So they're going to get cooked. Hassan's not in Eternity. You could ban characters starting in gold, which should have been the case from the jump. Hassan Cope? No, it's 100% correct. They wouldn't be making that change if it wasn't the truth. And they are making that change because it is the truth. That a lot of people are up here when they shouldn't be. main characters is gonna be painful. No, I think it's gonna be fine. Honestly, because like the hardest part about like especially gold and plat is that you have people who like one trick a character, right? And are like dog walking the freaking gold players in that character, with that character specifically. And I'm like, let me just get Spider-Man out of here, right? So like when they get up to like Diamond Grandmaster, they don't know how to play any other character. And when bans actually do start happening, right, it makes the experience bad for everybody because then they drop back down to gold, and then it's just hard, insta lock their main character. It's just it's a bad situation. Honestly, if it was me, I would have said to put it on plat just because like at least I know I can hit plat because I've hit plat before. But like gold's not terrible. Anyway, sorry, let's watch this.
Its final solution
Also, I want food. I don't have any food.
on the Palestinian people in Gaza. After numerous ceasefire violations on March 18th, Israel finally unilaterally ended it with a record-breaking...
I have to call him. Yeah. I linked him up. I linked my lawyer up with Noah.
child-killing massacre. Since then, Israel has killed over 1,000 Palestinian people.
In trouble. I don't think what he's in it could be considered trouble. The irony of everything is that Ethan sent a cease and desist to Noah for his YouTube video where he details how Ethan Klein and many other content creators, including Mudahar, have played a role in defending Israel's genocide, right? Intentionally, unintentionally, doesn't matter. Ethan was like, how dare you? How dare you make a YouTube video about me? I'm going to sue you. But he didn't actually do that. He just fucking sent him a cease and desist because I think he also understands that there's not, I mean, this is like a ridiculous, this is ridiculous to do.
I mean, a cease and desist is a scare tactic. It always is.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that there can't be further like legal process beyond that. Obviously, we live in the most litigious nation probably in the world.
Yeah.
But, they are meant to freak people out.
Yeah. The lawyer lobby.
You know, I mean,
that's why we need.
Everyone who posts worth their salt has received a cease and desist.
Yeah.
Order before. Have you ever gotten one?
It's
because you're a pussy.
Well, let's just say I got I'm not gonna say anything,
Okay.
but I would like to not reveal. But it wasn't. Let's say it wasn't a civil cease and desist.
Sure.
But yes, I have gotten visited before. But what I was saying is
the song going to be live today? He should be flying back, so I should be able to get the viewers, right?
What I was talking about was, yeah, he did this cease and desist. He might still try to like do this,
today, so yes.
long,
Dang it! Hop off.
Convoluted, expensive process of litigation to bury him in paperwork and try to engage in this like war of attrition, but. Looking at the cease and desist in and of itself, there was really no bones in it at all. There was no meat. Like it was just nothing. There was nothing in it. And yeah, so I linked Noah up with Alex, but it's just so fucking stupid. Can you read it? What do you mean? But the reason why I thought it was funny is because the lawyer that sent that cease and desist is like. He says he's like famous for anti-slap litigation. Mm-hmm. Well, Ethan's legal team, just recently had their appeal denied because he was being sued by another person that he apparently, maybe allegedly, I don't know, was defaming, saying that this guy, who's like a billionaire, was engaging in a Ponzi scheme. Mm-hmm. So this dude sued him, and then he hit the counter slap.
Oh, is that what the chatter sent me? Chatter was like, he lost his Cav lawsuit or whatever. I didn't know what that meant, so I just skipped over it because I was like, I have no idea who a Cav is. But is that what he's talking about? Oh, Ryan Kavanaugh? Yes. Oh. Ethan had a few Ryan Kavanaugh lawsuits. Ethan lost the anti-slap motion. for the defamation suit against Ethan. What?
I have an announcement.
Yeah, are you able
Speaking
to?
of Ryan Kavanaugh, as of
Also, did y'all see this Kyrgyzstan video? So South Korea is over. I know Kyrgyzstan's not great, but I did see that. Ethan owes $60K now.
today.
Today's the day.
Yep, I just got
So
word.
okay, so he made potentially defamatory claims about Ryan Kavanaugh. He was sued, and then he filed an anti-slap motion against that lawsuit, saying this is a slap suit. They're trying to milk me for money. The judge ruled against him, if I understand that correctly.
Word. Triller today.
Today's the day.
Yep, I just got word. Triller stock price. I have taken a huge position short selling Triller stock.
Dan's been
And
behind.
I am up.
Yes, and he appealed and lost that appeal. Oof.
I'm out now.
I am making a ton of money. No, that's not the announcement, but 380. I mean,
It's still up from where the low
Wait.
they were at.
Is Ryan Kavanaugh the owner of Triller? Here's a case. I'm not clicking that. You think I'm gonna read that case? I'm gonna have to make y'all explain it to me.
When we first started looking at this one.
yeah,
huh?
I mean, yeah, but they're on their way back. It looks like.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a trend, boy. I'll tell you what, man. Yeah.
Wrong,
Most
that's
like
my assignment.
though.
Okay, now I have to click that. Come on, chatter. Personal branding workshop? That's kind of funny.
Mostly that.
W homework.
I just got word this morning that it is officially over. Keemstar said I would be going to jail. They said I would be liable for millions of dollars in damages for the the unforgivable crime of watching 30 seconds of Triller vs. Jake Paul ripped and put on the Sound Lad channel.
I have no idea what he's talking about, by the way. None of these words are in the Bible. None of these words are in the Bible.
Not your fault, Zach. Just where it was. They said that VOD that had 50 or 70 views, all from Keemstar posting the link, by the way, that I would be financially ruined. Well, they were all right. And unfortunately, the settlement was no.
That is the end of.
We have settled. Hold on. Whoa, I'm not. I have absolutely fucking annihilated the opposition. These fucking losers. You're not going to believe this settlement. Wait, let me see what I can say. I mean, I can say anything, but my lawyer wants to put together a timeline to talk about just how ridiculous it is. So I'm going to get more into details next week, however.
Keep that drum roll going until next week.
Oh, yeah, so I can say that. So you want to know what we settled for? This is going to make you guys laugh. However many views it had on that video, times 50, which is the PP view price.
Okay.
And it ended up being like $3,000.
You're ruined.
At the end of all this,
I'm so confused. This is not giving me any information. And where are the snark subreddits when you need them, bro? There's 43 videos in this playlist. I do not care. Got a few lawsuits with Cavs, so it gets complicated. Okay, I stopped caring. That's the troll lawsuit. Kaz sued him personally for defamation. I gotta stop caring. Let's keep going.
And then the counter slap didn't work, and then he appealed it, and then the appeal didn't work, so now he might be cooked. And it's the same fucking lawyer that is working on that, and also simultaneously doing cease and desist for Noah. Weird world we live in. My point is, maybe you shouldn't engage in this kind of stuff. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you shouldn't be fucking constantly getting litigious. But yeah. Why are you being quiet?
I have no thoughts. I just don't want to get fucking sued.
Okay. Oh yeah. But that's what it is.
Respect. But honestly, double respect.
This is literally the thing. Like, no, you're demonstrating. You are in real time demonstrating how the chilling effect works, which is precisely the reason why there are anti-slap laws in place.
Yeah.
Where if you try to stop someone from exercising their First Amendment rights with frivolous litigation, you can punish that person. But no one wants to do it because it's too much paperwork, it's too much money. Like, no, everyone is like understandably fearful of wealthy people who are crazy enough to just like go the distance, even if they might lose in the process. And it's very, very annoying. Anyway, but Noah's in DC as well.
It is bomb.
Yeah. So I'm eating popcorn. Crazy to have an anti-slap lawyer who doesn't seem to understand anti-slap. No, chat, you don't understand. You don't understand. His lawyer probably understands anti-slap. He doesn't care though. If his client is like, yo, do this thing, he gets paid regardless. Lawyers get paid by the hour. Lawyers get paid by the hour. So if I'm a lawyer who does anti-slap stuff, like, hey, do a slap lawsuit against the person, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Why not? Let me just take, 15 hours real quick over the next 2 days to draft this up, right? And go ahead and deposit that like $1 billion into my bank account. Bada bing, bada boom. Corbin Ethan is honestly hilarious. That's what I'm saying. The lawyer's smart with it. The lawyer himself is ideologically invested. He's also financially invested because he gets paid. So, there's that. Watch this. Don't care about this. Don't care about this. Who has no, I'll look it up. Before we get to the protests. What? Before we get to this, I'm going to Did we watch the dev notes or the patch notes video? I don't think so. Right?
To all our new guests from across the timelines, I welcome you to the Hellfire Gala. Welcome one and all to Krakoa. This living island may be a sovereign mutant nation, but tonight, our home is yours.
Wait, Loki showed up in his president outfit? Bro.
Is yours. Honored guests, I propose a toast to Krakoa. Here there are no rivals, man and mutant,
will be exterminated. You all belong to history.
To me, my X-Men! This is a fight for our survival!
Then try to stay alive just long enough to see my way as the Age of Ultron begins.
He said the thing. He said the thing. That's the name of the movie. Wait.
I was about to go get that.
There's a new North Star Radio video? Why I can no longer support Casey Neistat? Okay, that's on the docket for sure. Gato con amor. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Much appreciated. Go at the fast we will. We'll do Marvel Rivals and then we'll get to this video. Cats with love. That's what I think it means.
Good evening. I'm John.
Watch this one, number on this one. These are the full patch notes.
Dear rivals, Guang Guang here.
Also, can I just say, we need more black queens. We need more black queens. In this game.
Here. Welcome to Season 2 of Marvel Rivals. After the intense Eternal Night saga and the defeat of Dracula, Emma Frost has prepared a lavish celebration, inviting everyone to don their best attire and venture to the mutant heaven of the living island Krakoa for the annual Hellfire Gala. But as we all know, heroes never truly get a peaceful vacation. The uninvited Ultron has crashed the party, and the attending hero.
Well, maybe if he would have just invited Ultron, he wouldn't have had to crash the party. That's all I'm saying.
Must spring into action to protect Krakoa's greatest treasure from his grasp. Emma Frost is a formidable vanguard, a master of telepathy and a shining diamond on the battlefield. She can.
Why are her thighs like that? Somebody please explain to me. Marvel, I need an explanation why her thighs like that. Her thighs are larger than her torso. Her thighs are larger than her torso. I feel like that's not normal.
Greatest treasure from his grasp. Emma Frost is a formidable vanguard, a master of telepathy and a shining diamond on the battlefield. She can adeptly utilize her telepathic and diamond abilities as the situation demands, standing at the forefront to shield her allies and obliterate her foes. And as for Ultron, Slate.
And also, canonically, is she really a master of telepathy? Like, I'm not saying that she's, she's bad at it or anything. I'm just saying that, like, pretty consistently she gets outclassed by, like, Jean Grey and Charles Xavier. So, like, she's, like, maybe top 3, Top 3. Well, nah. Yeah, top 5.
Tuned for the exciting updates in Season 2.5. In Season 2, we will introduce the...
Yeah, but like, to be fair, the most interesting thing about her character is not her telepathy. It's the fact that she had a second mutation and she can turn her skin into diamond. Which, they don't really explain that much. Like, she's like, I think the most famous instance of like a secondary mutation happening. But like none of the other stuff really like none of the other characters in X-Men really had like super interesting like second mutation type things. That's her like calling card. Is she an X-Men? She is. Yes. Yeah. Nowadays she's no longer like the villain of sorts. I have one counterpoint though. Is it her thighs? She has been at least a decade. She took over for Xavier. That's true. If we're talking about like Krakoa era, then like yeah, she's definitely like in like the X-Men. But to be fair, like so are most mutants. Like they got freaking like Apocalypse sitting on the council. Like you're just, you know, you can consider him like an X-Men. He's also the Diamond thing, like top 5 telepath, but has combat powers. Yeah, she's on Scott's X-Men before team before Krakoa. Okay, well, you know, you're the comic book person here. I'm not. I'm just telling you what I know.
First adjustments to team up abilities.
Anyway, okay, back to the gameplay. We got distracted by her thighs. I mean, by her lore. On to the gameplay.
New team ups while tweaking or removing some existing ones. We hope that these dynamic changes will enhance our heroes and gameplay environment with even more thrilling experiences. Since the launch of Season 1, we've been deeply contemplating how Marvel Rivals can continuously deliver fun and engaging experiences for you all. During this time, several discussions on social media have certainly added some pressure on us.
You can clip me here. I think Blade is coming after Ultron. I think it's going to be Emma Frost mid this month. You're going to have Ultron in early May. And then in mid to late May, you're going to have Blade. So if not the one after Ultron, it's the one after Ultron. That's what my headcanon is. My thoughts are. My lock.
To keep the game as exciting as it has been since December. To a certain extent, we agree. Upon reflection, we believe the core mission of Marvel Rivals should always be to fulfill everyone's fantasies about Marvel superheroes. But what does that fantasy in
2-month season with new character each month? Oh, I thought it was. That makes sense. I thought it was 2 characters each month. Not a new character each month. Maybe I can't read. I would be saying. I wish that was the case. They gave us 4 characters in 2 months. Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm, the thing in Stretchy Dude, whatever his name is.
Intel? Is it controlling multiple heroes simultaneously, or providing heroes with diverse experiences that transcend competitive boundaries? We've been exploring new modes internally, and when the prototypes are well defined, we will unveil them as special event game modes. Of course, there remains the fundamental dream to integrate even more exciting Marvel heroes into Marvel Rivals. After extensive internal discussions and thorough evaluations, we've decided that starting from Season 3, the seasons will shift to a 2-month format, with a new heroes debuting each month. Additionally, rated systems will be adjusted accordingly, and we will provide detailed insights before the launch of Season 3. With our goal of keeping the audience's excitement alive, just like our opening month, the real adventure with Marvel Rivals is just beginning. After thorough testing and analysis of backend data, we've identified that the current mission system design lacks clarity in guiding players on how to earn chrono tokens through gameplay. This has resulted in some active players being unable to fully claim all rewards from the Battle Pass by the end of the season. To address this issue, we are implementing weekly missions alongside the existing daily missions and challenges. While the total number of Chrono tokens available will remain unchanged, we've rebalanced the distribution of points across daily, weekly, and challenge missions. This adjustment aims to provide players with a smoother expectation of the Chrono tokens they can earn through regular logins and gameplay, ensuring that active players can successfully acquire all Battle Pass rewards by the end of the season. In season
This is the important one, chat. I need all of you to listen intently for this one.
2, we're excited to announce that we will begin adding new color options for some of the more popular costumes, providing even more opportunities for personalization. Additionally, we're introducing a new feature that allows players to gift costumes to their friends.
By their friends, they mean me. That's right, chat. When this change comes out, go ahead and put my name in here and send me every costume. Thank you very much.
Gift costumes to their friends. This enhancement aims to foster better communication and interaction among friends within our game. For Season 2, we've made upgrades to our network protocols to enhance overall performance. Unfortunately, this means that replays from Season 0 and Season 1 will no longer be supported in the new client version. So be sure to record your favorite videos to your local hard disk before the season begins. Thanks for your support. As player excitement continues to rise, we are preparing for future tournament plans. We aim for high-level factions and players to showcase their skills on this stage, presenting thrilling matches for all Marvel Rivals fans. Next, let's welcome Zhiyong to share insights regarding the adjustments to team-up abilities and balance changes for Season 2.
Hey Rivals, Zhiyong here with the latest on Season 2.0, packed with dynamic changes to team-up abilities, sweeping balance adjustments, and big updates to Ranked. Over the past seasons, we've been thrilled by your overwhelmingly positive feedback on our team-up abilities. On one hand, these team-ups have perfectly captured our wildest imagination of iconic superhero pairings. On the other, they've unlocked a whole new dimension of tactical combat. For Season 2, we are launching several brand new team-up abilities while fine-tuning some existing ones, all designed to deliver fresh, pulse-pounding experiences.
Okay.
Emma Frost stands as the team-up anchor, allowing Psylocke and Magneto to call on the White Queen's psionic abilities.
This is going to be sick. If people actually played Magneto and Low Elo, which they don't.
To create illusory projections. At the heart of this pairing, Doctor Strange shares his arcane mastery with Scarlet Witch, imbuing her chaos energy with a new mind-bending magical ability. Captain America's unwavering courage and unbreakable camaraderie inspire Winter Soldier to leap towards allies at critical moments and dish out a relentless counterattack. In our quest to keep the tactical landscape
I will say, I'll just play first.
Sharp and prevent any one hero from being in an overabundance of team-up abilities or total the number of team-ups from ballooning too quickly, We are streamlining some of our existing ones, including removing some team-up abilities altogether and removing or adding members. Here's what's changing. Metallic Chaos and Voltaic Union will be completely removed from the game.
No!
Psylocke will be removed from Dimension.
No. No. This is what I'll say. I don't know how good the new team ability with Scarlet Witch is going to be. Because one thing that kind of made Scarlet Witch very viable was the fact that if you had Magneto on the team, Magneto gets the team up ability, but also Magneto could bubble Scarlet Witch for when she ults. So her ult goes off like pretty consistently. But Doctor Strange doesn't have that same ability. Right? And so her damage is up, but her survivability is still not that great. Right? Unless they're like bumping or buffing her like her health or something.
Dimensional shortcut. Winter Soldier will no longer be part of ammo overload.
No!
Namor is being removed from sharing charisma.
No!
Doctor Strange is stepping back from Gamma Charge,
No!
when Namor will be joining the party, complete with the ability to summon Gamma Supercharged monster spawns. As Season 1.5 comes to a close, our analysis backed by community feedback, epic battles from top-tier players, and hard data reveals that our roster and lineup choices have remained dynamic and diverse. Consider the strength of Shields combined with the mighty duo of Groot and the Thing in the triple Vanguard lineup. With Magneto's damage and up, this setup gains increased initiative on flanks and enhanced pressure capabilities. Moreover, a pair of control-driven ultimates abilities synergizing with Magneto's ult against standard double strategies lineups can deliver staggering burst damage, overriding enemy healing and securing a pinpoint KO. Then there's the dynamic pairing of Groot and Winter Soldier, where every move counts. Whether Winter Soldier's mechanical arm rails enforce for Groot's rapid wall barricade to cut off enemy vision and healing, or Groot unleashing his ultimate while the Winter Soldier utilizes the splash damage from his main weapon to rapidly chip away a health, before finishing off enemies with his own ultimate ability. These synergies are as visually mesmerizing as effective. Not to mention our classic pairings, Hela and Loki, Adam Warlock and Star-Lord Mantis, and Hawk and Doctor Strange, each of which continues to prove their competitive might. This is exactly the kind of diverse and dynamic roster we love to see, and we are committed to preserving each hero's unique flavor and potential. Next, let's talk about some of the adjustments coming in Season 2. We are aware that some heroes have been struggling to find their place in the broader battlefield, such as Penny Parker, Scarlet Witch, Mr. Fantastic, Black Widow, Rocket Raccoon, and the lovable Jeff the Land Shark.
Penny does not need buffs. Please nerf Penny.
Bring more balance and endless tactical possibilities. We will be fine-tuning their strengths via team-up abilities or general balance adjustments. Note that these rebalances demand time for proper calibration, so you will see updates rolling out in both Season 2.0 and Season 2.5. Now, let's talk about some of the adjustments coming in Season 2.0.
Weak AF. Penny sucks. I hate playing against pennies. She should be weak. Honestly, every character except for Magneto should be weak, and not Emma Frost, because those are the characters I play. Vanguards, Penny Parker will receive a buff, while Captain America, now a new team-up anchor, steps up his competitive edge. Meanwhile, Doctor Strange will see a slight nerf to his offensive power, offset by improved survivability. For the purists,
Expect Scaly Witch and Winter Soldier to debut brand new aggressive team-up abilities, accompanied by buffs to heroes.
Boo! Moon Knight doesn't need a buff. Nobody cares about Mr. Fantastic. He sucks.
Like Mr. Fantastic and Moon Knight. Finally, strategists. We are set to enhance Rocket Raccoon's team utility, at the same time, to prevent battles from dragging on courtesy of.
Okay, Adam Warlock doesn't need a nerf. He sucks anyway. Okay, he doesn't suck. But like, he's not as viable as, you know, like Loki is. Loki's just a better choice by and large a lot of the time. It's about pro play. I don't care what's happening in pro play. I'm not a pro player. He's meta at high elos. Well, I'm not in high elos, so I don't care.
Loki's regeneration domain and Adam Warlock's zone bond. We will implement modest nerf to keep the fight fast, furious, and fundamentally fun. Keep your eyes peeled for our upcoming balance update announcement, where we will dive even deeper into these changes. The Season 1.5 hero pick rates and win rates are also set to.
They already post those, chat? Dude, what did I close, bro? Oh, okay. No, the video came out April 3rd. It's been updated on March 31st. I don't think this is it, but it may be. Who knows?
To be reviewed shortly.
This is the part that makes me mad. Not really, actually. I'm being exaggeratory.
When Season 2.
Ooh, also, I'm gonna go see the Minecraft movie soon. No spoilers, but I heard it was so good.
2.0 launches, we are shaking up competitive play by resetting ranks. Based on your Season 1.5 standings, each player will drop 9.
Bro, they said, oh, you guys complained about the 7 rank drop? Where you dropped 7 ranks? Well, F you, now you're dropping 9 ranks this time. After everybody was like, bro, dropping 7 ranks is kind of insane. It's kind of crazy. It's insane. And they're like, F you, you're dropping 9 ranks this time.
Divisions. For instance, if you ended Season 1.5 at Diamond 1, you will start your Season 2.0 journey at Silver 1. Coinciding.
Boo! They're gonna do a mid-season 1-2. This is their compromise. I don't like that. I need to at least get to Plat, so I don't drop immediately down to Bronze 3 again. I need to get to Plat 2, Plat 1, because I dropped the Plat 2, Plat 3, Gold 1, Gold 2, Gold 3, Silver 1, Silver 2, Silver 3, Bronze. Yeah, I dropped the Bronze 1 if that's the case.
With the season update and with the increase in maps, we will be rotating maps to keep the battlegrounds fresh. For Season 2.0, Hellfire Gala Krakoa will enter the competitive pool, while Yaska Royal Palace and Tokyo 2099.
I like this map. I don't know how I feel about the Tokyo 2099 one.
Jim Shibuya will be retired from ranked play. Tournaments will use the same map rotation.
Honestly, I would have dropped
retired from ranked play.
The Wakanda map. I don't like that one that much.
Tournaments will use the same map rotation as the competitive, but quick match and custom games will still feature every map. No rotation there.
This is good as well.
We've listened to your feedback about competitive play, and here's how we are leveling up the experience. First, we are raising the minimum level.
Last season, start had to be heavy looking silver and gold, the high ranks, come back sporadically to work their way back up. Yeah. In which case, if you're actually like a silver and gold player trying to grind and like get better and climb your ranks, you're gonna get shoved back down. No matter what, if you started at the beginning, as soon as the rank reset happens, all the players are going to be in bronze, silver, and gold. You're not climbing. 2 weeks later, well, you're going to have players who didn't play for eternity or celestial or whatever come back and still dog walk you in bronze, silver, and gold. And at the end of the freaking act or whatever, at the end of the season, they're going to come back trying to get their ranks back up, and they'll dog walk you in bronze, silver, and gold again. There's no winning.
Requirement for competitive to give new players more time to truly master the basics before stepping up to the big leagues. Also, pick and ban will now come into play starting from Gold 3 rather than Diamond tier. When a team includes players from Eternity or one above all, only dual queuing will be allowed. Finally, you all know that the score you earn per
I also like this part as well.
competitive match is determined by both the outcome and your individual performance. With the launch of Season 2.0, we will be increasing the weight of individual performances.
Yes. Gone are the days where I SVP 6 games in a row and then drop deck down to freaking Silver 1 or Silver 3 or whatever. Gone are the days. Now I'll only drop down to Gold 1 or Gold 3, whatever the lowest one is. I don't remember.
The better you perform, the more points you will earn in victory, and the fewer points you will lose in defeat. We know many of you are interested in the distribution of players across the Season 1.5 tiers. To satisfy your curiosity, please enjoy this detailed histogram that lays it all out.
Like 20, like gold being the highest distribution, I don't like that. So time to at least grind for plat. Because right now I'm gold 1 or gold 2, high gold 2.
In closing, thank you all for your unwavering support and passion. We can't wait to party with you at the Hellfire Gala. Ignite the battle.
Cool. I had them to the bathroom, so I want to play this North Star Radio video. But when I get back, we're gonna watch the Emma Frost gameplay. BRB.
There was a time when if you heard the word YouTube, you would immediately think Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat!
You know who Casey Neistat is, right?
My name's Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat forever changed the platform, setting a new bar for what it means to make a YouTube video.
You're about to say something important. You want to zoom in to really get the audience engaged.
Vlogging used to be something mundane, focused on the lives of the subject with almost no focus on the cinematography, the aesthetics of the video itself. Then daily vlogging became a thing. Vloggers typically using simple point-and-shoot cameras, speaking to their audience through the lens and giving them a glimpse into their daily lives. Sometimes that life needing a bit, or quite a bit, of fabrication. But when Casey Neistat began his vlog in 2015, it completely changed YouTube as a platform. Casey comes from a background in filmmaking, specifically in producing high-budget commercials for J.Crew, Nike, and Mercedes-Benz, and even making more journalistic productions for the New York Times. So when he began his daily vlog, he brought his expertise in filmmaking and storytelling to a medium that had yet to see such a venture.
I'm 34 years old, and I've never had so much going on in my life. I got married like a year ago, had a kid 3 months ago. My other kid, Owen, he's driving now. I've been traveling a lot with and without the family. Yes, I'm starting a proper daily vlog. I'm psyched. So this is the first vlog entry.
Soon skyrocketing to a level of notoriety on the platform, undeniably becoming the king of vlogs.
So it's kind of a bummer. No one showed up to the meetup.
But then he stopped, moving to Los Angeles to never be heard from again. except when he felt the need to give some brain-dead political take.
Look at this guy. Look at the guy in red. Check out the hair. That's me in Israel, I think in Jerusalem, in 2005. If you're Jewish, you get to go on this free trip called Birthright Israel. It's fun. It's like summer camp. You go to Israel with a bunch of people your age, and you get to do cool stuff and learn. It's like a field trip. It's great.
Casey Neistat has since moved back to New York City and has begun posting to YouTube again, this time much more infrequently. And while I've been a fan of his return, watching nearly all of his uploads, even the more cringe ones, he did something recently that has completely shifted the way I see Casey Neistat, as well as past actions throughout his career that are now seen through a less than favorable lens. To the point that I can no longer support him by any means of the word. Today's broadcast is brought to you by viewers like you. Become a member today and unlock exclusive content at patreon.com/NorthstarRadio. This is me in 2014, the year I discovered Casey Neistat, 1 year before he began his daily vlog. I have a not so unique connection to Casey Neistat that makes me feel as though I have the authority to make such a video. I was obsessed with Casey Neistat. The year I discovered Casey, I had already been making videos on YouTube, but quickly shifted my style entirely, blatantly copying the Neistat style like everyone else. And I say Neistat and not Casey Neistat because Casey's first big break was not by himself, but rather with his big brother, Van Neistat, who worked on an HBO show with Casey that unfortunately didn't get picked up for a second season. Van Neistat is a small piece of this greater Neistat puzzle, so remember his name. Casey Neistat frequently brings up his coming to fame story, how he grew up in New England, was a teenager at the time of his son's birth.
After 3 months there, my girlfriend got pregnant. So we moved back to Connecticut. I dropped out of high school.
All the way to his move to New York City, where he was basically homeless for a few weeks.
I moved to New York City on June 4th, 2001. Literally exactly on June 4th, 2001. When I moved here, I had a 3-month sublet, so I had a place to stay for 3 months. After those 3 months, I moved into a friend's couch that was in...
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. What I missed, chat? Casey Neistat. We're gonna get back to this in a second. From the top, make it drop. We're gonna watch the Emma Frost character reveal trailer, and then we'll get back to it.
The White Queen's reign begins. You deserve that, dear. Mind crush!
This is like Alawi. If you've played League of Legends, that's kind of what it reminds me of. She reaches into like the opponent, pulls out like a little stand-in for the enemy, and attacks that stand-in, and damage gets reflected back to the main enemy. And so she can throw out. Okay, hold on. She can throw out a. What is this? This is her right click. Like a Hawkeye ult. Yes, but like kinda. She throws out a wall that blocks damage that you can attack through, but they can't attack you through. And check out over for Peter's community. How is the morning going? Oh, welcome in. Hello. It's going well. We're watching some Marvel Rivals gameplay before we get into actual content. Also, I usually stream earlier than this, but I just got back from a flight.
You were beneath me.
Wait, is it a 5-second cooldown? That's actually not bad.
You were beneath me. Impervious!
And after you shift, your range attack turns into like fisticuffs. You just start boxing people.
Pathetic.
And then, okay, this move is the insane move. Run it back. Your E runs up, you grab and you choke them.
Pathetic.
She degrades you and then throws you down. And then kicks you. Okay.
So embarrassing.
That's so dirty. And then her ult is like a crowd control ability that like pulls people towards you.
That's White Queen mind control. That's White Queen mind control.
Bro, why? Okay. Why do they got her thighs jiggling like, okay. Why do they got her thighs jiggling like that?
That's White Queen mind control.
And people were saying that this is a reference to like Snowbunny mind control, which I can't say that it's not, because it's very it's very similar to be purely coincidental, you know? Also, I have this open.
Your mind is mine. Impervious.
She says kneel peasants, bro. Like, they know exactly what they're doing. And honestly, they kind of cook with this character. They kind of cooked with this character. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. I get it. I get it. I get it. I understand. I understand. Say no more. I thought I closed it. Here, I'll open it back up. She ain't even out yet, and it's, she's already a problem. These are all the ults that Emma Frost can stop. That's so funny. Okay, she's what a tank should be, honestly. That makes sense. That's racist. That's racist. That shouldn't be the case.
Who's here?
But she didn't even do anything. I don't even know what character this is. Oh, it's Cloak and Dagger? In her new skin? Oh. Yeah, I think she shouldn't be able to stop Storm. She shouldn't be able to stop Black Panther. And she should not be able to stop the Thing. The rest are fair game, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. We'll play some Marvel Rivals today. The commentary specified if Emma Frost is an Omega level mutant. I don't think she is. But you know, it's comic books. They can say one thing one time and then take it back. And then reinstate it. And then take it back. You know what I mean? Like, it's comic books.
There was a time when if you heard the word YouTube, you would immediately think Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat.
You know who Casey Neistat is, right?
My name's Casey Neistat.
Casey Neistat forever changed the platform, setting a new bar for what it means to make a YouTube video.
You're about to say something important. You want to zoom in to really get the audience engaged.
Vlogging used to be something mundane, focused on the lives of the subject with almost no focus on the cinematography, the aesthetics of the video itself. Then daily vlogging became a thing. Vloggers typically using simple point-and-shoot cameras, speaking to their audience through the lens and giving them a glimpse into their daily lives. Sometimes that life needing a bit, or quite a bit, of fabrication. But when Casey Neistat began his vlog in 2015, it completely changed YouTube as a platform. Casey comes from a background in filmmaking, specifically in producing high-budget commercials for J.Crew, Nike, and Mercedes-Benz, and even making more journalistic productions for the New York Times. So when he began his daily vlog, he brought his expertise in filmmaking and storytelling to a medium that had yet to see such a venture.
I'm 34 years old, and I've never had so much going on in my life. I got married like a year ago, and I've never had...
That's a rough 34. If nobody else is gonna say it, I'll say it. That is a rough 34.
had so much going on in my life. I got married like a year ago, had a kid 3 months ago. My other kid, Owen, he's driving now. I've been traveling a lot with and without the family. Yes, I'm starting a proper daily vlog. I'm psyched. So this is the first vlog entry.
Soon skyrocketing to a level of notoriety on the platform, undeniably becoming the king of vlogs.
So it's kind of a bummer. No one showed up to the meetup.
But then he stopped, moving to Los Angeles to never be heard from again, except when he felt the need to give some brain-dead political take.
Look at this guy. Look at the guy in red. Check out the hair. That's me in Israel, I think in Jerusalem, in 2005. If you're Jewish, you get to go on this free trip called Birthright Israel. It's fun. It's like summer camp. You go to Israel with a bunch of people your age, and you get to do cool stuff and learn. It's like a field trip. It's great.
Casey Neistat has since moved back to New York City and has begun posting to YouTube again, this time much more infrequently. And while I've been a fan of his return, watching nearly all of his uploads, even the more cringe ones, he did something recently that has completely shifted the way I see Casey Neistat, as well as past actions throughout his career that are now seen through a less than favorable lens. To the point that I can no longer support him by any means of the word.
The only reason I remember he's just because he's so ugly now. He's an evil trash person. I can say it.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by viewers like you. Become a member today and unlock exclusive content at patreon.com/NorthstarRadio. This is me in 2014, the year I discovered Casey Neistat, 1 year before he began his daily vlog. I have a not-so-unique connection to Casey Neistat that makes me feel as though I have the authority to make such a video. I was obsessed.
Why did my Discord buzz? I don't think y'all heard that, but I heard it. Oh, it's because freaking Hassan is live.
Obsessed with Casey Neistat. The year I discovered Casey, I had already been making videos on YouTube, but quickly shifted my style entirely, blatantly copying the Neistat style like everyone else. And I say Neistat and not Casey Neistat because Casey's first big break was not by himself, but rather with his big brother, Van Neistat, who worked on an HBO show with Casey that unfortunately didn't get picked up for a second season. Van Neistat is a small piece of this greater Neistat puzzle, so remember his name. Casey Neistat frequently brings up his coming to fame story, how he grew up in New England, was a teenager at the time of his son's birth.
After 3 months there, my girlfriend got pregnant. So we moved back to Connecticut. And I dropped out of high school.
All the way to his move to New York City, where he was basically homeless for a few weeks.
I moved to New York City on June 4th, 2001. Literally exactly on June 4th, 2001. When I moved here, I had a 3-month sublet, so I had a place to stay for 3 months. After those 3 months, I moved into a friend's couch that was in the financial district that was literally a half a block from the Twin Towers.
Until maxing out multiple credit cards to purchase an iMac, where he eventually made a few bucks off his first video project.
This was the first
I unplugged my microphone. I unplugged my headphones for a second.
ever.
Eventually made a few bucks off his first video project.
This was the first ever computer ever that I ever edited video on ever. The year was 2000. Y2K had just passed, the dot-com bubble had burst, the Concorde crashed in France, Vladimir Putin had just been voted in, and Bill Clinton was about to leave office. That was the year I got this thing. This is an iMac DV, and this was the first machine to ship with iMovie on it, iMovie version 1.0. At the time, I was washing dishes for a living, but when I first played with this thing, I was like, I have to have it, and I maxed out my credit card and got one.
Ah, the classic good old American pick yourself up by your bootstraps story. Don't you just love capitalism? Except it seems like now that Casey Neistat has finally achieved fame and financial stability, he no longer looks fondly on those simply trying to get by in this crazy fend for yourself by any means necessary late-stage capitalist system. Moving to Los Angeles in 2019 and not long after experiencing capitalism up close and personal, tweeting this after several of his cars were broken into. So our cars got robbed this morning because Los Angeles is a crime-riddled third-world shithole of a city. But tremendous appreciation and gratitude to the hardworking officers at the LAPD, who not only arrested the motherfucker, but they got all of our stolen.
Oh, he's a capitalist, like, cop
Rev Nada
bootlegger?
just subscribed.
Goods back. Now there's a lot to break down here, but can we first give props to Seth Rogen for ripping this loud New Yorker a new one? Dude, I've lived here for over 20 years. You're nuts. It's lovely here. Don't leave anything valuable in it. It's called living in a big city. Coming from a guy who donated to bail out protesters from right here in Minneapolis because of the George Floyd protests, and more recently has criticized the idea of a Jewish ethno-state in the Middle East, and has reflected on his education on Israel growing up, saying that they forgot to include the facts. Alright, Seth Rogen, this NSR branded spliff is getting lit up in your honor. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. This tweet from Casey Neistat got quite a bit of attention, probably in part due to the fact that he wrote it not long after Donald Trump called Haiti and several African countries shithole countries. This person saying, "Can't imagine having millions to my name and getting worked up enough about petty theft to call LA a shithole and thank the police in the same breath." And this is where the police come into play. Casey Neistat is a New Yorker through and through, and something every New Yorker is confronted with on a daily basis is the fact that they live in a police state run by the stinkiest gang in all of America, followed closely behind by the LA Sheriff's Department, the NYPD.
We're taking existing technology, cameras, being able to communicate.
That was Eric Adams.
Communicate with people
Bald
and
man.
placing it on wheels.
Behold the NYPD's newest Crime Stopper, K5 Autonomous.
The NYPD is an incredibly infamous police department for both their vast history of excessive force over petty crimes.
New developments tonight in the police shooting at a subway in Brooklyn yesterday. 2 cops firing their weapons at a fair jumping man who authorities say used a knife to try to attack the officers. But in the process, 2 passengers were shot, one of them critically, and one of the cops was also hit. How that happened, we still don't know.
But are even
what?
More infamous for their inability to do their job when it matters most.
The officer
Hey, let him play Candy Crush. It's all right.
attempted to get a fire extinguisher to douse the flame. And so I'm not going to speak more on that particular issue.
Yet time and time again, Casey Neistat has made a concerted effort to do soft propaganda for the NYPD, frequently featuring them in his elaborate videos and going out of his way to celebrate and thank them for their supposed bravery.
There's the man. What up, Rich? Rich, what do you think of the new one wheel? It's nice, right? Twice in one day, man.
I'm specifically talking about this video where Casey rips on a cop for driving a tiny police car, basically going apeshit because he believes the NYPD are a powerful force in the city and need to drive a big car in order to be respected as a police force. I mean, what does he want the cops to drive around in? Tanks? Oh, right.
What is this car? It's a smart car. Man, what do you do? Where's your NYPD? Where's the dignity, man? That's the wimpiest car I've ever seen. Look at this thing. Look at the little lights. It's ridiculous.
Dear NYPD, what were you thinking when you bought these things? How is anyone supposed to respect a police force that drives around in little go-karts?
Look at this tiny little...
How is anyone supposed to respect the police force, bro? This guy was Omega cucked. I never watched Casey Neistat, so this is like new information to me.
What do you think of this thing?
Yo, this thing is crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
Do you think they had to leave their dignity at the police station because they couldn't fit it in the car? What do you think of that cop car?
It's little. I wouldn't want to ride in it.
Officer, is it embarrassing driving around in that go-kart? Poor guy. Stay safe, little buddy.
Stay safe, little buddy.
Watch out for potholes. Wouldn't want to lose you.
Casey Neistat revolutionized the daily vlog. However, he didn't come up with the concept by any means. In fact, one particular Viner turned YouTuber began his daily vlog a mere month before Casey Neistat.
Logan Paul.
Suggesting that Casey was quite inspired by this person's venture into daily vlogging.
This is my first vlog. I don't know how long this is gonna last, but
yeah,
I'm gonna
what's the difference? Sorry.
Vlogging maybe every other day, every day. Who knows? But I'm gonna do it. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hey, this is my first vlog, man. All right, let's just start vlogging. What a dick.
In 2022, Casey Neistat released his documentary Under the Influence at South by Southwest, a film about the rise and fall of the biggest YouTuber in the world whose feel-good videos masked the dark and reckless new ethos of online celebrity culture. The film received massive praise from its audience, and after being nominated for the Golden Starfish Award at the Hamptons International Film Festival, it's never been seen again.
LOL.
And from the looks of it, Casey Neistat may be holding off on the film's public release in order to protect the image of his new friend, David Dobrik.
Casey FaceTimed me, and that's why I sued David, because I saw what David said about me and how he really felt. And I was like, no fucking way. Like, my heart dropped.
Oh, it's Jeff.
I was like best friends with this kid.
Yeah.
And this is how he talks about me behind my back.
Yeah.
It's not even behind my back. It's in a documentary that'll be out in a year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But the statute of limitations would have been up. If I hadn't seen that clip, I would have never got
the
sue.
Yeah.
So thank you, Casey, for doing that. But also, kind of fuck you, Casey, right now, because he said that he's not releasing his documentary, that you sat down with a girl that was assaulted and spoke to you about her most traumatic moment of her life for days, weeks, and you're gonna bury the story to protect this kid that you
Wait, that's
openly
crazy.
admitted. Casey fucking sat for weeks interviewing her, and now he said that he thinks that David was the best comedian on YouTube in history.
Man, Casey Neistat just is a terrible judge of character and a bad person overall. This guy sucks. This guy Omega sucks. He's bad. He's a bad dude. Bad guy. We haven't even gotten to the Israel stuff yet.
That was the funniest part of the interview right there.
Between the filming of this documentary, its subsequent film festival release, and to this day, David Dobrik has faced quite a bit of controversy. And I'm not talking about problematic age gaps of 2 years, I'm talking real criminal shit. And it seems as though that's what this film explores. In 2017, David came up with a brilliant prank.
What's up, guys? Today I'm pulling a prank on Seth that may have the potential of being one of my favorite pranks I've ever done. So Alex has a scary old man mask that he's been using to scare people for a while now. I'm gonna convince Seth that he needs to make out with Corinna while she's wearing that old man mask.
Seth, are you okay with making out with Corinna?
Yeah, that's fine. Corinna's gonna come out of my room before she has the mask on, and she's gonna show me how weird she looks in her outfit.
You look so stupid.
I'm gonna tell her that it does look weird and that I need to go and add some more padding to make her look more like an old man.
I gotta put padding. You look kind of dumb.
But instead of going to the room and adding more padding, Corinna's gonna hop out of the outfit and have Jason put it on instead. And then without any hesitation, I'm gonna have Jason come out wearing the old man mask and try to make out with Seth while he thinks it's Corinna.
Corinna, are you okay with tongue?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Corinna's going, oh, baby. Seth's like, this. This is my type of shit. Okay, Corinna, go.
That is sexual assault. But not long after, he did it again.
I had an idea to pull the prank on him again, so I thought it would be fun to blatantly ask him for consent.
Do I have permission to try to prank you again and get you to make out with Jason?
I'm very confused by that, because how the hell could you be so confident to tell me that I have to consent to something that I'm not gonna know that I'm gonna do?
This is how we were gonna do it. I went over to my friends at Collab to see if they would help me make a fake beef jerky commercial. We created a fake production company that created a fake script.
So we're about to send out this email to Seth for this beef jerky commercial.
Fake beef jerky commercial.
Because this is not real. But we're offering him $2,500.
Which is also not
Which
real.
is also not real.
We created a fake website to go along with the fake production company.
I mean, this thing is entirely functional. If I click on learn more, it's going to show a page with all of the clients that we've worked with.
And within 2 days, Seth
Wait,
was
okay, so sorry. I know this is not the point, but like saying like this website is totally functional. Like, yeah, you just made a website. It's just not for a real product. Websites, for the most part, are usually functional. You click on a button, it does a thing. Sorry, that stuck out to me. But yeah, consent does not work by saying, hey, for some time in the future, I'm going to do this sexual thing to you, right? Do you consent to it when it happens, whenever it happens? That's not how consent works. You can't do that. You can't go up to a girl and say, hey, sometime in the future, I'm going to have sex with you. You're not going to know when or how or why, right? And it may be deceitful, right? But do you consent to having that happen? And then she says like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then like 6 months down the line, you know what I mean? Like that's not how that works. That's not what consent is.
Responded to his fake audition with a real audition tape.
I'm here with Jack Link's auditioning for the part. What a fucking moron.
We gave it a couple hours, and then we gave him...
Bro, did people actually watch this guy? I can't watch somebody who I think is a bad person. And this is a bad person thing. This is something that a bad person does, right? Like, how you sit in your room like, that's funny. Like, it's just a bad guy. And we were surprised when he almost killed his employee. That was surprising. It kind of felt like it was totally in the realm of exactly what David Dobrik does in the first place. Like, yeah, of course, when he does something like this, he's going to get to the point where he's going to, like, you know, accidentally, like, you know, almost kill his employee.
Call with some really exciting news.
Well, welcome to the Beef Jerky family, man. We're super, super excited to have you.
A couple days later, it was time for the shoot, so we hired 3 women to play the sexy Sasquatches so that Seth wouldn't notice when Jason switched out with one of them mid-shoot. And then we made sure to hire an additional 14 crew members, along with the director, producer, assistant director, makeup crew, and audio technician. And this was all happening while...
Yeah, seems like a lot of money to just do sexual assault. I feel like there's a cheaper way you can probably do this. Or, you know, not do it at all. But maybe that's just me.
The rest of us sat in a tiny trailer outside the house watching his every move on a tiny screen. We wanted to make sure that Seth believed the commercial was real, so we shot it just like it was planned, and then we slowly transitioned into the prank. And this is how it turned out.
Clear, action.
After he took off the mask, I was, you know, it was a split decision. I was like, it's one or two things. Like, either be natural instincts and be the angry black guy in the room and start yelling at everyone and get physical or whatever that might entail, or I can kind of just, you know, go along with it, and, you know, maybe I'll have some new friends that, you know, will support me in my ventures moving forward, and I made the decision to just kind of go along with it.
But instead of David himself apologizing or even just speaking about it publicly in any way, he had one of his employees, Scotty Sire, make a video shitting on Seth and defending Big Daddy himself, David Dobrik.
What's up, guys? I am totally sick of seeing my friends' names get dragged through the mud because of false allegations and lies and just things that aren't true, so I'm going to address some of those
lies. Everything that was just shown was David describing what he did. And then Seth being like, I was kind of uncomfortable by it. I just went along with it. What lies? What's the lie there?
allegations and defend my friends. They haven't said anything because typically the Vlog Squad does not address rumors and lies and gossip because it platforms the person telling the lies, draws attention to it, and we know who we are, we know our character, we know we're good people, and we know it's not true. But this has gotten to a point where it's such a serious accusation that it needs to be addressed. Everybody makes mistakes. I am not an angel. I've definitely made mistakes myself, and all we can hope for when we make mistakes is to learn and grow from those mistakes. That being said, telling a lie is a mistake itself, and there's been a lot of that going around. First of all, David's a great person, Jason's a great person. In fact, they're both fantastic people. David doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He's so nice. When someone does something that really upsets him, he gets disappointed instead of angry.
But then,
he gets paycheck,
can you believe
he's actually what?
Something that really upsets him, he gets disappointed instead of angry.
But then, can you believe it? Something even worse took place on camera, front and center on the David Dobrik vlog. And can you believe it's centered around someone who goes by Dirty Dom? That's such an innocent, down-to-earth name. To keep this video somewhat brief, David and his friends for hire were all hanging out and thought it would be funny to center that day's vlog around Dirty Dom, who planned on bringing several college-age girls to his apartment with the sole purpose of having sex with them.
What?
Oh, shit. Oh,
This is weird.
All the while, David was standing right outside the bedroom door recording the entire time.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't look in there. I'm gonna have to leave the apartment.
What if I told you that the man named Dirty Dom wasn't exactly receptive to the concept of consent?
What? Somebody around David Dobrik not being receptive to consent? No. No. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. What? That's so surprising.
Shocker.
And not at all something that was foreshadowed literally 20 seconds ago in this video.
I know. After one of these girls came out to address what took place in that bedroom all those months ago, the story blew up, leading to much online scrutiny and investigation into what took place that night.
I knew this article was coming out, but it was way more in depth, and the gravity of the accusations in this article was way more than I expected.
Oh yeah, he asked for consent 5 months ago. You're right.
Last couple of weeks now, I've been telling you guys all the stuff that's been going on with David Dobrik.
This blows everything out of the water that we've talked about.
Chief exposed Dom with regards to the essay allegations and debunked certain elements of the article that was written about the allegations. Chief said that Trisha lied in the article about Chief supplying alcohol to listen up the girls.
You said a bunch of times in your video that Trisha is the reason you're in this article. Did you read the article?
I didn't want to pay for the paywall on it.
Yeah.
No, I listen. I don't want to make any jokes. I just have a sarcastic tone. Like I want to be clear that I'm here.
Do you acknowledge that it wasn't Trisha just saying that?
Now, after listening to you guys addressing the article a bunch of times, yeah, I understand.
So you really didn't read the article, or were you joking?
No, listen, so I'll start from the top. And like I said, I'm not here to discredit the victim at all. And I want to make that clear. I'm just here to explain my side of the story. And the reason I'm even coming on here is because I genuinely feel like, there are some misunderstandings here, and we could just clear it up if we talk it out. When I first got reached out to by Insider, the reporter, immediately I was like, oh, what is this? My name in an article with Dom and sexual assault? Like, I'm going to call right away before I had the facts straight. This was 3 years ago. So, stupid move. You're right. I'll give it to you. That was dumb to call a reporter when I don't even know.
But I don't think she mischaracterized you either. So I got to stop you there a little bit too.
I had nothing to do with the sexual assault. I had nothing to do with anything that happened inside of that.
This was not my sphere of influence on the internet. At this point, I was watching Minecraft videos. You know what I mean? That's what I was doing. I wasn't watching H3 or Frenemies with Trisha Paytas. With David Dobrik having Dirty Dom sexually assault college age teens he brought over for David Dobrik's vlog. And all this related to Casey Neistat defending him at some point. I don't remember. I was not involved with that stuff.
That bedroom, when I peeked in, it was a faked bit, and the sweaty part after was a setup shot after the next day. And I mean, that's my story. That's from 3 years ago. That's what I remember. And I can, well,
I think from what I can tell, I agree. I think you're a good dude. And like I said, I hope you get through this and you're okay. But
what is the goal here? Because for me, it's to try to help sexual assault victims. Genuinely, that's genuinely what I'm here for. And
what you're doing when you question the motives of the authors, you're basically saying that there's no article that could be about this that would be acceptable to me because they're making money. I was just saying
that if there was a paywall on it and you wanted to get those clicks through doing it this way,
they had lawyers. David's lawyers were threatening them nonstop. They have.
I don't know. I don't know this stuff.
Well,
you act like I'm with David every day.
Well, it's in the article. If you would have read the article.
Okay. Ethan.
Now that right there is Jeff Wittick, someone who was seen in that clip, ironically became his next victim. After the Dirty Dom controversy, David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad planned an elaborate vlog for their big return to YouTube.
Okay, before we move on entirely, I will say that I do think there is some validity of putting very serious allegations behind a paywalled article. I am not a fan of that. I do understand, and I do think journalists and media should be paid, obviously. But when you have very serious allegations, I hate that those are hidden behind paywalled articles. Just in general. I don't. Like sexual assault, rape allegations, paywall, like behind, like, you know, hidden behind paywall articles. I'm not a fan of that. That's what I'll say.
With help from an excavator. And what do you think happens when you operate professional construction equipment with one hand while you hold a camera in the other, with your friend swinging on a rope tied to said machinery? Not good things.
Ooh, I don't know if he shows it here. I think he blacks it out. I'm gonna skip it regardless.
So where does Casey Neistat tie into all of this? For all I know, Casey wasn't there during the excavator incident, but it did take place during the time Casey was recording the documentary on David Dobrik. The documentary being completely upended and forced to change course, as it was originally meant to be nothing more than a puff piece on David Dobrik and the extravagant and exciting lives of internet celebrities. Casey Neistat had to make a choice. Do I release this expose on my friend David Dobrik after all this time filming and hanging out together? Or do I protect him and hide this film from the general public as a way to shield him from the well-deserved consequences of his actions? Well, Casey Neistat went on Jeff Wittick's podcast not too long ago.
I got you this present. Look at that. You know?
You didn't
take
have,
it out.
You didn't have
take
to
it.
do that.
Show what it is.
You didn't have to do that.
Because I don't know.
No,
if
I mean I know it's Christmas and everything.
I don't know if you're
but
running out, but there you go. It's a bunch of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Because you're still drinking it, my friend.
You didn't just
You're
stop.
still
here.
in the cult. You're still blinded.
I'm gonna put these both up.
My friend. You still have a little bit in you. And if you didn't get blasted in the head by a crane or had sex with against your will when you were drunk, you may have different feelings.
Okay. That's actually pretty solid. I'll give him that. To his face, calling him out like that, that's solid.
It took me a long time to stop drinking that Kool-Aid. I went through like 5 surgeries, and I was still drinking that Kool-Aid.
And upon being confronted by Jeff Wittick on his seemingly tight and protective friendship with David Dobrik,
which I disagree with or not like Jeff in the past. I do respect this move. Even recognizing that he was a part of it, like he was complicit in it, he was drinking the Kool-Aid, and it took time to, like, you know, being physically hurt for him to like start to unlearn, you know, maybe I shouldn't be protecting this guy who's very clearly a bad person, and then calling out other people who are in that exact same situation. Like I respect that. I do respect that.
That's what he had to say.
You know, I haven't had any communication.
Yeah, I know.
With David, nor have I sought any communication.
Mm-hmm.
Release the documentary. And here's what I say. You don't have to release a documentary in this case for Casey Neistat, but you at least have to drop a, hey, I've tabled the documentary. This documentary was originally supposed to be about this thing, but it's not about this thing anymore because of all the stuff that David Dobrik did. I disavow that. I disagree with that. And I don't think I can in good conscience continue with the doc. Just release a statement. Say something, right? But again, filming this puff piece, I mean, it's about like documentary of David Dobrik, and then just cutting it when the documentary is giving you more of who David Dobrik actually is, and that's a terrible person. Like, of course, people, especially people who are harmed by David Dobrik, have a right to call you out on it. They do. They have a right to call you out on it.
With him. And when I talk about this idea of protecting him, like, no, I don't feel any desire to protect him. And what I said,
then release the documentary
in that interview, and I'll still say this today, is that like the way that documentary transpired, like if I can give the whole thing in an abbreviated way, is I really was excited about telling this story of what it means to go from zero to being the biggest creator in the world. That was a story that I wanted to tell, and that's a story I wanted to like dedicate years of my life to telling. And David seemed like the perfect candidate.
He seemed like it. Yeah,
he really seemed like it when I first met him, and his explosion was unlike anything I had seen. And I rode that wave, and like that tour, The Greatest Time of Your Life, was sort of the apex of that. It was like we were going to universities, we were going to Miami, we were in all these places, and like the way
even
people
here
would,
at 368,
that's
we
right.
felt like the Beatles.
The way
streets were
people
rumbling.
reacted to you guys was unlike anything I'd ever seen. And that was the movie that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
And then this story comes out. When you talk about drinking the juice,
Yeah.
I think that I'll take that criticism, and I won't fight with you about it.
I drank the
But-
juice for the first year.
But
I kept
don't,
the accent.
I push back on
hidden.
it, Jeff, because like, you know, I didn't hesitate to, you know, throw away my friendship, which I did have with him, and I should have never made that friendship with him because it made me less of a good
Biased,
journalist.
or-
Yeah, less of an objective journalist for sure. And then I had to tear off the friend band-aid and put on the journalist hat, and that was really hard to do. And if I had just been a journalist the whole time, maybe I wouldn't have gotten the access.
Yeah.
But it would have been more honest. Instead,
Mhm.
I was his friend, and he was mad with me because he only saw me as a friend, and I was mad with him because of all this bullshit that I felt like was hidden.
Yeah.
And was masked. And when it came out, so you can give me shit for drinking the juice, Jeff. I'm going to take this Kool-Aid home. But I want you to
But
sort
you
of
know,
appreciate
ease
the
off
fact
it,
that like
start dwindling down. You know, maybe do a lower dose each day before you got to get off that stuff.
We're still talking about the
eventually.
juice.
Yeah.
I just push back because I would love to understand how you think it's, you know, me drinking the juice because of the fact that I've never had anything to do with the guy. And when I talk about this idea of like,
because you're still defending him, bro. And he doesn't. This is what a lot of people do in their defense of Israel as well, in that they don't understand that when somebody you're associated with, right, commits such a heinous act or is complicit in such a heinous act, and your response is like, well, I don't really know them anyway, right? When you were like friends with them, like that's what people have issue with. That's a defense. You're running defense for them. You are. When you bury the documentary, you don't release the footage, and you say, well, I haven't had any contact with them since then. Like, you're running defense for them. The same way that people who are like, well, Hamas is the greater evil, and like we have to return the hostages, and to say stuff like that, I'd be like, but like, you know, Israel's not perfect. That's a defense of Israel. So stop doing that.
I just saying things like what you did in that interview with that guy. I don't know who is that guy, because you don't do a lot of podcasts.
no,
so
he's fantastic. His channel's fantastic. He used to work at
he
YouTube.
got good questions out of you.
Really good
Got you
questions.
some backlash.
But was there other than
your
what we talked
answers?
about?
No, from just like saying things about you know, that he was the best comedian.
Oh, well, just about David stuff.
Yeah, just like that
Yeah,
stuff.
so, like, you know,
and you not releasing the doc for the sole purpose that you feel the need to protect.
Yeah, I never
David.
said that, Jeff. That's a total mischaracterization. And I still don't know why I don't put it out there. I think it's because maybe some part of me, as much as I'm ashamed to admit it, is because I still like very deeply love and care for David. And maybe it's about protecting him.
Casey Neistat does admit shortly after that maybe not the entire reason, but a piece of the puzzle as to why he has yet to release the film might be that deep down he feels bad for David Dobrik.
You said that in the...
That's part of it. And it's a nuanced, like, the hard part with the internet is being honest and being nuanced.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to hear it. They want to take absolutes like that. And that's not an absolute. When I think about that movie, it forces me to confront all of the bullshit that I just expressed. And then that evokes a sense of doubt in me. And this is real. And this is me being honest and me being vulnerable. And this is the same thing I would say to you if none of these cameras were here or anyone that asked me.
Of course.
Like, why isn't it out? And it's like, maybe there is some part that's like, I don't want to have to confront this story. Maybe there's some part of me that feels guilty because the reason why I had that access is because I was their friends.
Mhm.
I was David's friend.
Yeah.
And he gave me all this access.
Yeah.
And then in the end...
And now he's a bad person, and you are running defense for him. This is defense. You're running for him.
I used it to make a movie that told the truth that he didn't want out there. That's f***ed up. But like, I'm just being honest. Like, there's some tiny bit of doubt in me that thinks maybe the reason why I'm not more aggressive in getting this out there is because of that. Is that me protecting him? If you see it that way, then there's nothing I can do.
I'm just going off words that I actually heard.
I can understand why he would feel that way. I can understand why he's filled with all different sorts of guilt over the situation. But what I cannot understand is how that would stop him from releasing the film to the public, which covers real-world crimes that need to be brought to light. Maybe there's extra details I'm not aware of. There are certainly details I'm not aware of. But from a journalistic standpoint, from an artistic standpoint, I do not respect that decision by Casey Neistat. And Jeff's audience is seemingly on the same page. Calling yourself a journalist while refusing to publish your journalism is bizarre. The role of a journalist is to tell the truth objectively without being influenced by personal biases. You tell the truth even if it's ugly. He interviewed a victim of Essay, made her relive the horror just so her story won't be told because he just isn't feeling it. Halfway through the pod and not really keen with Casey. He reminds me of a politician and says whatever he thinks the person in front of him wants to hear to keep the peace. Asking himself questions and answering them is so politician.
Just let David Dobrik is 28 years old. Yeah.
Holding on to this footage for 3 years now, while at the same time explaining in interviews that the reason it's not out is due in part to the fact that you kind of feel bad for David, is just not a good look. I don't know what else to say. It's just not at all admirable, especially coming from someone claiming to be doing journalism, someone I looked up to. Say what you will about the whole situation, but I personally don't think it's the worst of it. I've looked up to Casey off and on for a decade at this point, and while many of these things I was able to look past or find an explanation for in my head, this last subject is what really made me change my mind entirely on Casey Neistat and change the way I see all of his past doings. The way he talks about Palestine.
Which we're gonna save until tomorrow. Because I am tired. Roast time? No. Well. No, probably not. Last message. I mean, I see it. You just said it. Casey Neistat's ugly. Which I mean, like, I get that. I just woke up. Or I've been up for like 8 hours at this point. It's 10 a.m. So. If that puts it in any perspective. Actually, no, I think it's probably for longer than that. And I just flew on a plane. I'm tired. I needed to get some rest. I'll be back tomorrow, probably, most likely. I will say, surprise in a few weeks. You'll know when it happens. Until then, we're going to keep covering the news. We'll finish off this Casey Neistat video. We'll talk about the protest tomorrow. Oh, did y'all see Miskiff getting called out on Twitter? We're doing pull-ups on a cherry tree. Yeah. So we'll talk about this again. We'll talk about this as well tomorrow. But like, can people stop doing this, please? Like, stop just being nuisances. And if you're going to be a nuisance, stop recording it. We're going to make Japan hate us. Jeez Louise. Just making Japan and that's like American tradition at this point? Yeah. They should hate America, to be fair. Not me, though. I didn't do anything. All right, hate Miskiff. A lot of people do. Don't hate me. I'm not a Miskiff. What else I? And I'm going to go finish eating this Chomps meat stick, drink some water, play some Marvel Rivals, and go to bed. Nom, 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 nom. All right. He's had a goodwill a little bit, a tiny bit. He was like top 5 people in OTK. Not a hard bar to clear, but like, you know, he was transitioning from being like one of the worst to like not as bad, because his competition was like freaking Tectone and Asmon, and now he goes and does this, kind of cementing OTK as like, you know, that organization. But yeah, if that's all, I just said I was leaving, and like 50 people just dipped immediately. Just let me, you know what? F you.